Hello, football faithful, and welcome back to another episode of the Double Doink Podcast. My name is Brendan Deek. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. You can also rate the podcast and review the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. It would also be greatly appreciated. We have a repeated guest on the show today. Looking forward to talking to him. Clay Harbor, former tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jacksonville Jaguars, most notably, and contestant on the Bachelorette in Paradise and Bachelorette. Clay Harbor, how we doing?
Good, Brendan. Thanks for having me on, man. Always love to talk some football, talk some birds. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Thanks again for coming on. Really appreciate it. I want to talk about you to start this off, man. What have you been up to? Like from your Instagram, it looks like you've been living the life in Miami right now. Did you move there, or are you just on vacation?
No, so actually, I came from Chicago to Miami with some of my friends from college for a weekend.
Okay.
And when I got here, I couldn't leave. It was very warm, 75 and sunny. Chicago's having a big snowstorm, so I decided, hey, I'm going to make a decision, and I'm just going to stay out here for another week or two. And I'm really enjoying it. You know, the people out here are great. There's some good food. Obviously, you're on the ocean, and Miami's a good spot. I know it's growing throughout all the pandemic and the weather and everything, but really loving it out here.
So I saw as well, you are promoting a fitness challenge. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So fitness has always been a huge part of my life. You know, playing football for so long, I've got to train under some really great coaches. I trained at IMG Academies in Bradenton, Florida. I trained at Exos in Phoenix, some great, sports performance gyms. I've got to train with some great strength and conditioning coaches and throughout my time. And I'm also pretty much finished with my certified personal trainer certification, and just all the stuff that I've learned over the years, the studying, the taking pieces from each strength coach I've learned. I decided, I'm gonna put this into a package and share it to people. And this isn't, you have to be an NFL player to use. This is for men and women. I got two separate programs that I made with consulting from two certified personal trainers. I have a nutrition package that I made that I didn't make, that I hired a nutritionist to make for me. She's a doctor of nutrition and dietitian, and she's a rock star. She's amazing, and she came up with this great nutrition plan. And then also I have a physical therapist, a doctor of physical therapy, who contributed a physical therapy package to, if you have a sore low back, here's his 5 best workouts. You have some knee problems, here's your 5 best workouts. If you're at the office, you can't get to the gym, here are 5 things you can do to get yourself in good condition and your body feeling better. And I put that all together in a 30-day challenge. The reason I chose 30 days, because studies have shown habits take 21 to 28 days to form. If we get people to do a 30-day challenge, I really think they can make a change. And this will be just a part of their lifestyle. Something I've been wanting to do, a cool project, and put it out for a 30-day Get Fit challenge, and selling it on online. Right now, we got 4 days left of the pre-registration, and that's only $30, $1 a day for the pre-registration. After these 4 days, price bumps up to $45. Still a ton of value. We have giveaways from Optimum Nutrition, and they're giving away a $300 protein prize or supplement prize to the winner of the body transformation. We'll also have some other giveaways from Optimum Nutrition, who happens to sponsor me. So I think it's a really cool thing, can help a lot of people, and it's really something I'm passionate about.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, I didn't know that you kind of had all 3 areas tied in. You have the fitness aspect, the nutrition aspect, and the physical therapy aspect of it.
Yeah, to me, being a football player and athlete, I understand how each of these really work together. You can't just have a fitness challenge without a nutrition challenge.
Yeah.
You can't have nutrition without fitness. So those come in together. And then the other side of that is you have to be feeling good to be doing the fitness challenge. And physical therapy has been a big part of my life. I get the physical therapy once every week at least, even if I'm feeling great, just to make sure everything's running smoothly. So I think all of that ties in, and it's just an all-included health and wellness, Get Fit 30-day challenge.
I will plug it into the podcast description, so if you want to take a look at it, please do. Clay, one more question about yourself. I got to ask, I saw during around Christmas time, you were traveling around Europe. What was your favorite destination? Kind of tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, me and a couple of my college friends, we called it a thanks Euro trip. Yeah.
It's like around Thanksgiving, I guess, right?
It was Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And it's tough because I liked them all, but I would say Portugal. We started in Porto, we trained down to Lisbon, then we drove down to Lagos, and they were all so different, but also beautiful. Porto's more of a relaxed, you're going to drink wine on the water. Lisbon's a little more fast paced. There's a bunch of nice restaurants, bars, clubs. Lagos is just beautiful views, scenic, you're out in nature. And that was really, really amazing to see all the different aspects and sides of that. And also, I love Paris. I know some people say they weren't big fans of Paris. I thought Paris was amazing. I thought the people were nice. I've heard people in Paris weren't very receptive to tourists, but that's not what I experienced. And then also went to Amsterdam. Amsterdam was pretty locked down at that point. Prague. I love Prague. Brussels. I would say Porto, Paris and Prague together, Brussels, Amsterdam, because I didn't get to see much of Amsterdam, but unbelievable trip. It was so much.
Yeah, man, it looked like fun. I'm extremely jealous of every single post you put on Instagram, man. I'm stuck in Toronto. It's snowing. After we talk right now, I'm gonna go shovel my driveway. And you're looking at Miami. Look, you got a wife beater on.
Yeah,
not even like it's just. You live the dream, man. You're living the life, Clay.
Yeah, sunny. I'm gonna go walk around like this outside, and I might be hot. It's 77 today.
No.
It might be a little hot out there.
I hate you. I definitely hate you. All right, why don't we talk some birds, Clay? So if the Eagles finish 9-8 on the season, they lose in the first playoff game to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's kind of funny that Tom Brady goes out on his last win against the Eagles. Overall, Clay, what do you think? You think this Eagles season was a success? I
think it was. I think it was a success. I think you got to see a lot of maturing from Jalen Hurts, and I think the Eagles are going to be able to go as far as Jalen will take them. I think he's still got some work to do in his progressions and his reads and getting the ball out quickly. But I thought he did a good job, and I know there's a lot of people both ways. There's a lot of people that love him, and there's a lot of people that think he needs some things to work on. So I think Jalen did good. I think you have some pieces in place. Devonta, I think, is one of those pieces. I think the Eagles' running game, very impressive. Obviously, a running quarterback is gonna help you with your running stats. And one of the best Eagles running teams I've seen in a while. I don't know the stats on that, but I know they're one of the best it's ever been on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I believe it was actually the best Eagles running team since 2013, Chip Kelly's first year.
Yeah, it's incredible. That's absolutely incredible, and you love to see that. And I think we got some pieces in place. Obviously, we wanted to get a little further and beat Tom Brady there, but I thought it was a successful season. Made the playoffs. Jalen had some maturing. He's got some weapons around him. I think we get another stud receiver. Through free agency or maybe through the draft. Maybe get another linebacker to go with T.J. Edwards, and I think the Eagles will be poised to maybe go deep into the playoffs next year.
So do you think they should stick with Jalen Hurts for next year?
I think they are. I don't know if I don't know if he's the guy. He had a good enough year, I think, to get him to come back for another year.
Yeah,
I did have a good enough year to see if he can progress, and hopefully he can. I think he's shown some glimpses of being special. I think he needs to work on his progressions, the speed. Yeah. I think he needs to work on getting the ball out quicker and keeping his eyes downfield a little more. But I think he's earned another year.
What if, so this is just a hypothetical here, Eagles have 3 first-round picks right now heading into this year. It doesn't happen very often. And knowing Howie Roseman, I'm assuming he's going to want to wheel and deal. And I'm assuming he's not going to just use all 3 draft picks to draft players this draft. It just wouldn't make sense. It's not Howie's style. Let's put it out there. Russell Wilson's available for 3 first-round picks. These, let's say 2 this year, 1 next year. If you're the Eagles, is the roster good enough for you to pull the trigger on something like that?
For me, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, Russell is obviously he's a amazing talent, but I see him slowing down a little bit. Look at his numbers this year compared to the Russell of, the past. And obviously his resume is incredible, what he's done in this league. And, he can be something special. If there's going to be a guy that's going to come back guns blazing, Russell Wilson is one of those guys that just works his tail off who studies, does everything he can in the offseason to get ready for another round to make sure that his team is successful. But I'm not sure I make that.
Yeah.
I don't know if the roster's ready for that right now, for that move. I think that I build the talent maybe through the draft. I wouldn't be upset if we just built the talent through the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Drafted some young talent.
I think that's the way to go. I actually think the best case scenario for them is if they can find a trade partner kind of that will trade up and take maybe pick 15 or 16, then you can gather another first round pick for next year. If you do need a quarterback draft's a little better for next year.
Yeah,
Right?
no, I like that. Get a pick, first round pick for next year, and get a couple more guys in the roster, fill a couple of holes, maybe a couple second round picks, later first round, another second round or third round, and the Eagles have done a pretty solid job of drafting of late, so I think that'd be something I'd be happy if that happened.
Agreed. Okay, while we talk about your other little team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Clay, I gotta ask you, what is going on there? They haven't had a head coach since week 5. Why isn't Byron Leftwich head coach? And are they that dysfunctional? Like, are we missing something here, or are they just straight that dysfunctional?
I love Jacksonville, man. I mean, after Philly, I played in Jacksonville for 3 years. To this day, I don't regret things, but leaving Jacksonville for New England, when Jacksonville really was my home and I loved the organization so much, I had the same contract offer, it's same deal. And I went to New England. I felt like I should have stayed. Looking in hindsight, should have stayed in Jacksonville because I felt that was home at the point. And I love the ownership over there. Shad was great, but I feel like they're becoming kind of like a laughing stock.
Yeah.
Since week 5 of the season, or I don't know which week was, not week 5, but you have this long to find a head coach, longer than any other team. What's holding you up? Like, that's what I'm concerned about. Are you still not sure? You've met several times, a couple different candidates. Let's get a coach in there. Let's get a guy that can go to you can go and you can start scouting players. You can go to the Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine game. You can go start scouting players. You can look at free agency. You want to have that team in place that can get ready for the season and really push into this offseason strong. Start looking at free agents. Okay, what does this team need? You don't want to get a guy in there that's rushing, that doesn't really have a chance to look at all the positions on the field, on the team. What do we need here? What do we need here? What can we do better? You want to get a guy, you want to get a team in place that can really take advantage of this time, this offseason, to build something special, contact the players, find out what you need. And that's just one of the reasons I think, it's more than this, but one of the reasons the Jaguars just aren't a winning organization. Mm-hmm. Things like this. Find your guy, stick to him, give him some time to go out and do his thing to get the team in place instead of, you're behind schedule. Now this guy's in here. He's rushing to try to fill some holes. And, next thing you know, we get 2 or 3 wins next season.
It's funny. I've started to feel bad for Jaguars fans. I didn't know that they had such a passionate fan base. Everyone kind of thought that they were the least had the worst fan base in the league. But since kind of mid this year, I've kind of started looking at Jacksonville Twitter. Jaguars Twitter is very entertaining. There's a lot of funny people on there, and they love their team. They just want to see a winner. They just want to see a head coach come in and kind of bring Trevor Lawrence up to where he should be.
Jaguars Twitter is hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's been one of the funniest things I've kind of found on Twitter over the last recent months.
Yeah, and they do have fans, but you got to think of it. They've had that one winning season where, in my eyes, I think they got screwed out of the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots. Mm-hmm. If you remember back then,
Miles Jack, that was a fumble recovery. Remember Miles Jack picking that ball up? Yep.
There was a few plays in that game that yelling at my TV. I'm pulling for them. I'm like, are you kidding me? And Duval deserved that. And it's tough because these fans are passionate and they do love the Jags, but when you're putting a product like that out every year, it's kind of tough. It's hard for them to go pay money to go watch this team play when for a fact that you're not winning games, and it's kind of embarrassing for them. They're out there supporting, and then it's year after year after year you got the same same product on the field. So I'm hoping they can get it turned around. I love Duval. The fans were great, and I think if we can get a decent coach in here, let's just hire Byron Leftwich, a guy that's
Yeah.
won in Jacksonville. He's won in Duval.
Yeah.
The fans the people there love the guy.
It
Love
just
him.
seems too obvious. Like, I don't get it. Like, why is he
want
not the coach? It's crazy.
you want to bring some excitement to Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Byron Leftwich.
It's crazy. I don't get how he's not a head coach in Jacksonville. Like, he's the whole quarterback. People love him. It seems too obvious for them not to do it. It's insane. All right, why don't we talk about the Brian Flores lawsuit that just came out a couple of days ago? So if you haven't heard, Brian Flores is filing a lawsuit against the NFL regarding the process of head coaching interviews and other kind of misconducts that have happened to him in the NFL over the last couple of years. Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos, and the New York Giants were named in the lawsuit. It's been a stink that's kind of followed me over the last couple of years, Clay, when I started writing for this league professionally, is the lack of black head coaches in the NFL. It's always bugged me. And it just the amount of this, like the level that they have to hit compared to white head coaches. I think a perfect example is Steve Wilkes in Arizona just a couple of years ago was fired after 1 year for Cliff Kingsbury, who was a coach in college with Patrick Mahomes. Couldn't have a winning season with Patrick Mahomes in college. And then he comes to Arizona. He has 2 back-to-back losing seasons, just underperformed again this year, in my opinion. It's another example. And another one is D'Amico Ryans getting interviews over Jonathan Gann. I think that's another perfect example of the problem in the NFL right now. He's a first-year defensive coordinator, had a better defense, took the defense to the playoffs, beat Dallas, Green Bay, and he still can't get a head coaching interviews compared to Jonathan Gannon. Clay, was this something that you noticed when you were playing? Were players talking about this? And do you think this will progress change in the NFL?
Yeah, I definitely think it's something that needs to be addressed. I know there's a Rooney Rule, but it looks like. I think innocent until proven guilty with the NFL, but there's one black head coach in the league right now after Flores got fired for a 9-8 season. I think a lot of teams would have been happy with that. That's, to me, it's that's a decent year right there, and I think he deserved another shot right there, and I think that he's brought up some valid points. He thinks that maybe some of these Rooney Rule interviews are sham interviews just to, they already know they got their guy. They're going to bring a guy in there just because they want to follow the rules. Mm-hmm. And in a league where 65% of the players are black, and I know it doesn't necessarily correlate to the amount of coaches, but look at the amount of coordinators. There's 25 coordinators, 26 coordinators in the NFL that are black. Those coordinators, guys, are one step below the head coaches. Why are there so many coordinators, but then the team doesn't want to hire the black coach? And
Byron Leftwich, Eric Bieniemy, Todd Bowles, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and you brought up D'Amico Ryans was an old teammate of mine. Eagles, love D'Amico, smart guy, intelligent dude, knows the game of football, and he's not getting any interview requests. And Jonathan Gannon, with a worse defense and a younger guy, is getting these interviews. So, something's off to me, and I'm hoping that Flores can really bring this to light and bring forth a change. And I think it's really really brave of him to do, because he's probably not going to get hired as a head coach again after this type of lawsuit. He put his career on the line. I know Brian Flores. He was on staff with me when I was in New England. I always had respect for the guy. He was always quiet, did his job. Was good at motivating his players. He was the defensive back coach there, and Mike Patricia was the defensive coordinator. Matt Patricia, excuse me, and we had a great staff there. You had Brian Dable, you had Patricia, you had Josh McDaniel, you had Flores, and it's tough to see Flores getting a raw shake like he is this time around.
Yeah, he must be so frustrated, like going into an interview knowing you're not getting the job. Like, it's just like disheartening, like it just kind of pulls your happiness down. It's crazy that the Giants wouldn't even just want to talk to the guy. I said this to my mom earlier yesterday. I said, if Brian Flores was available and I was running a head coaching process, he'd be the first guy I'd call. Like, it would be the first one I'd get an interview with. Like, and he would be the first guy I talk to. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange, and I'm hoping that this can this can bring forth some sort of a change there, and really stop teams from maybe just interviewing. interview people and really do something good for people.
So Tom Brady officially has called it a career 22 seasons in the NFL. I got to ask, is he the best, like, in your mind, best football player of all time?
I think so. I think he's I think he might be the best overall player in any sport ever. If you look at the amount of titles, obviously you got Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, some guys that maybe have more titles than him, but 7 rings as a quarterback, 2 teams, the amount of stats, the greatest quarterback of all time. In my opinion, there's no position in sports that is as important as a quarterback. In what I mean, a point guard in basketball, no. A pitcher in baseball can control the game, but I don't think so. I mean, golf, individual sports, like obviously as far as the team sport's concerned, I think football is the most important position in any sport. I think Tom Brady played that position better than anybody ever has for a longer time than anybody ever has. And the crazy thing, the guy's retiring when he's still putting up numbers. Like
That's crazy. He led the league in passing touchdowns and passing yards.
Yes, he's not retiring because he's not producing anymore.
Yeah,
he's retiring because he wants to spend time with his wife and kids. Okay, Tom could probably play 3 more years and make Pro Bowls for 3 more years. Maybe get another MVP if you put a right team around him.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's crazy. He's going at the top of he's going at the top. Like, he could argue that there was no way he was slowing down. There was no signs that he was going to be playing worse next year.
No, and I mean, if you look at if Michael Jordan would have stayed retired, that's how Michael Jordan went out with that last shot on the Jaguars. On the Jazz. I mean, obviously, Tom Brady didn't win it all, but Mike went out on top at that point. And looking at that game, though, I feel like that the O-line just not giving Tom any time to throw the ball maybe had a part in that.
You're probably like, I don't want to get hit like this again. Like, going out healthy is something that a lot of football players aren't able to do, and that, right? Like, just from being in the league, a lot of players are forced to retire due to injury, not being able to retire on their own. So when he probably got rocked a few times by Von Miller and Aaron Donald coming at his face, he's like, look, I'm healthy. I got a bunch of money. I got TB12 Sports. I can go lie in the sun with my hot girlfriend. I get it.
He doesn't have to do anything, man. The amount of money that Tom Brady's, if he doesn't want to, obviously a guy like him, so competitive, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out with some kind of, conglomeration, in the next few years when he's done.
Yeah. So you actually were around in New England for a few months, and you were played with Tom Brady. You got a story you can tell here about Brady? Anything that kind of caught your eye while you were there? Anything he did that was interesting?
Oh yeah, I got a couple funny stories, but the one story people ask me about Tom Brady, I tell them was I signed with New England. I was there the whole off season, the OTAs, training camp, all that good stuff, and then I was there for 5 games during the regular season, and preseason, training camp, whatever. But I got really good at this game that we used to play. It's a game to where you had to remember these plays. New England has a ton of plays you have to remember. They're called just got to know. So you say one word. You got to know the snap count. You got to know the formation. You got to know the checks. You got to know everything. So you say, water or something. You got to go. You got to know. Okay, that's green right, 373, Y stick, X slant, and go. It's water. You got to know the whole play, and that the possible check there is, zone away, whatever. So I got really good. We'd play it both ways. So you say green right, 373. I know that's water. I just know that because the formation, it has to be. Or you say, all right, water. I go green right, 373, Y, whatever. So we're playing this game, and I got really good at it. I would listen to it in my headphones every day on my way to work. If I had some extra time, I'd listen to it. I'd write it all out. And I was always beating the tight ends. I was beating Gronk. I was beating Martellus Bennett. I was beating all these guys. Tom comes in our room. He's talking about some plays. Like, yeah, guys, we're going to run this play. And make sure we're going to take it 2 yards deeper instead of running it at 10 yards. The linebackers are getting some extra depth. We're going to run it at 12. just talking about a play, and we're like, oh, cool. And Brian Dable, I think he got a head coaching job. I don't know if he's been officially announced yet.
New York hired him.
New York hired him. It's funny, he took over for Joe Judge, and they were on the same staff there that year as well. Joe Judge was my special teams coach, and now Dable's was the tight end coach. Now Dable's over for Judge. But anyways, so Dable's like, I bet you can't beat Clay in the game, and everybody knew what the game was that he was playing. He's like Dabes, called Dable Dabes, come on, man. I've been here for 18 years, 17 years. I'm like, I don't know, man. This kid's pretty fast at this game. And I'm like, come on, man. I don't want to play against Tom. We start playing the game. Dable, all right. Water. Remember 373 West? Tom's like, what the all right. Then you come again. You'll say it the other way, like say a play, like blue left, 330. I go, oh, that's can. And I beat Tom. I beat him like 5-2. And everyone's like, ah. And Tom left. He's noticeably pissed off. He's really, I'm like, dude, is he serious? Slams the door, leaves the tight end room. I don't think anything else of it. The guys are all laughing. Next day, we go into tight end meetings. I'm just sitting there, writing notes. Dable's talking, just doing my thing, listening to the plays. Door opens. All right, Clay, motherfucker, let's go. I look, it's Tom. I'm like, what? He's like, let's go, Dable, the game, let's go. He's like, let's go, Clay, let's go. I'm like, all right. So we play the game, and Tom beats me 5-0 before any question. He knew it just like that. Leaves the room. He's like, that's right. Leaves the room, slams the door, and everybody's like, oh, my gosh, no way. So he went home, studied, because I beat him in this dumb game, came back just to prove that he was better than me. Talk about competitiveness. Guy's an ultra competitor. It was incredible. Man. Fun story, but that's the one Tom Brady story I have about the competitiveness of this guy.
Yeah, it's funny. He definitely thought about that all night. That Clay beat me in this game. I gotta come back and beat him tomorrow.
Thought about it all night. Studied, went over the fucking plays, made sure that he knew he was up on it, and he comes back and kicks my ass.
That's hilarious. That's funny. Yeah, I know he's like you said, most competitive guy ever. He probably all night, probably bugged him, probably couldn't sleep, couldn't wait to get back to the stadium or to the practice facility to do that to you. That's really funny. All right, Clay, one more question before you go. I gotta ask you. I had a couple people want me to ask you this question. So, are you single currently right now?
I am.
Are you okay? You look chiseled as ever. So, are you ever going to get back into the Bachelorette or Bachelor life? I was told to ask you this question still.
No, I am retired from Bachelor Nation. I enjoy watching it though. I think it's funny. It's and my cousin, my cousin's on the show now. I think he's going to Paradise this year. I'm just having fun, enjoying him go through all the Bachelor stuff that I went through. But I am officially retired. Hang my Bachelor jersey up, and we'll just watch from afar now.
Got it. All right, that is Clay Harbor. Great talking to you, man. Really appreciate it. I'm going to plug in your 30-day fitness challenge into the podcast description. So if you want to check that out, please do. Clay, before we go, why don't you just plug in your social media accounts?
Yeah, appreciate it, Brian. My Instagram is just ClayHarbs82. Twitter is ClayHarbs82. And also, I guess we're doing TikTok now, too. You should get on that, Brendan. ClayHarbs82. Bring some birds to TikTok, maybe.
Yeah, man, it's my goal for after the Super Bowl. I want to start getting into more video content, TikTok stuff. It's the future. People can't focus for longer than 15 seconds nowadays. They just want to sit there and swipe.
Absolutely. For 15 seconds. I think that'll take off.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to be doing. All right, man. Really, really appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, later, Brendan.